Hey guys, hope you and your families are doing well. Let's reverse engineer the process. What are the ideal stocks arguably to be trading from? VCPs, flags, cup and handle, Darvis box breakouts. Well, it's probably those that have a lot of liquidity, are displaying extreme momentum and high relative strength, but from a fundamental standpoint also have high earnings or sales and or one of those. So how do we go about screening for those stocks in an efficient manner? That's what I'm going to show you in this video. I've got about 10 examples from the screens as well, stocks that I'm currently looking at. MarketSmith are the sponsor of this video. If you're interested in a discounted trial, so you can do what it is I'm doing in this video, there is a link in the comment section below. So let's jump on into it. Come over here. Okay, load this up and do a new screen. Now I'm just going to show you the parameters that I have got set for one of them, but you want to do this for the sales and also the earnings. Then we are going to combine them into a single watch list. Makes it more efficient for you, so there's less duplication. So 50-day average volume, I want that above 100k. The RS 3-month rating, I want that to be greater than 75. I actually find looking for relative strength on a 3-month basis when I'm on MarketSmith much more efficient than the standard 52-week RS rating. Why? Because it's going to get those stocks that are on the move in a more efficient manner and put them in front of you, which is the whole point of screening. And then I want sales on a percentage change last quarter to be greater than 75%. So you can see we've whittled it down here from about 9,500 stocks to 127 stocks. Now repeat this scan as well, but then just change the sales percentage last quarter to earnings percentage change last quarter. And again, I want it greater than 75%. If you want more results coming in or less results coming in, have a play around with the relative strength 3-month rating and also the sales percentage and or earnings percentage change. You can increase or decrease those to increase or decrease how many results you are getting back. So I have already combined them for brevity's sake into a combined watch list. That'll avoid some duplication, just make your screening more efficient. Now in terms of the table down here, I have my own custom layout, so you can pause the video or whatever, you can copy this as well. Okay, you can come in here, you can go customize column layout, and then you can play around. What I think is very important, certainly for me, is I want to have the 3-month relative strength rating there, so then I can just filter these in the table via that. I like to have the industry group name. You can see all the things I've got in there. So let's get down to the interesting stuff. So when you're doing this kind of scan, expect to see momentum. Now the two most common kind of examples of stocks that you're going to see in terms of basing patterns are either going to be flags or potentially stocks coming out of large phase 1 bases. Again, that's kind of market context at the minute as well. There's some stocks trying to transition from large phase 1 bases into phase 2 uptrend, so I want to be aware of that, and IQ is one of them, right? Okay, it's powered up here from $1.65 to around about $8, and it's starting to build out a flag. It's showing a lot of relative strength versus other Chinese stocks in KWEB, which is Chinese ETF that I look at. And earnings in the most recently reported quarter, you can see the volume coming through plus 170%. You've got the acceleration in after-tax margins as well, 2%, 1%, 2.5, 11.3%. So the stock is firing on a lot of cylinders, showing a lot of relative strength. So these flag type patterns, these VCPs, potentially trying to come out of large phase 1 bases, stocks already in phase 2 uptrend, is going to be fairly important. Another kind of parameter you could add on to your screening is you could say that you want the stock to be above its 200 SMA, for instance, as well. That's very easy to add. So let me just show you some of the stocks. You can see the earnings estimates here as well. So I've got a couple that I'll be showing you, and then again, I'm just looking at it. What are the stocks displaying the greatest 3-month relative strength? Why? Because I want to focus on ideally the strongest stocks in the market, and money is obviously flowing into those stocks, and it may also be those stocks are developing into a very strong theme as well. So this is MTW. Now you're going to get ones like this as well. They've clearly made a very good move on volume here, so it's powered up from around about $9 to around about $18, so potential high type flag. But again, short term it's extended here, isn't it? So you see this pinkish line here, this is the 10 EMA. For a high type flag at a minimum, I would like to see this pull in to the 10 EMA. So you're going to get results like this where the stock looks very strong, but it's the time element, it's the patience element. You then have to watch it, just stick it on a watch list, watch it and see if that base can develop. Flags, VCPs, whatever it is your preferred setup is. NGL, so this one here is another one, really powerful move here. You can see stock powers out of a decent sized base here. Actually, it's kind of somewhat cup and handle-ish, isn't it? But powers up here, earnings gap through there, earnings come out plus 154%. powers up, finds supportive action on the 10 EMA here. Now again, this one here is short-term extended, but take a look at the volume coming through. Really powerful, really positive price action. So again, this is one similar to the previous stock we were looking at. It's just going to take a little bit of time to monitor this, see if a setup can form. One that I am fairly interested in, this is NRDS, so relatively recent in terms of the IPO. Take a look at this move here, going from about $8.50 to $20, RS rating of 98, 3-month RS rating of 99. Look at the volume coming through here. Very powerful volume, nice kind of clues in here as well, and the stock is trying to come out, well, it is now out of a large phase 1 base. It was a pretty new IPO, so phase 1 base into a phase 2 uptrend. Context of the market cycle here important as well. Now I'm watching this one for a high type flag to form, short-term extended. I would like to see some high lows, some tightness come in, that volume dry out, and then this is the 10 EMA here, this pinkish line, tighten up around the 10 EMA. Take a look at the 2024 estimates, plus 500% with the guidance up as well. So these are some of the top stocks coming up on this scan. I really like the scan. I run through this one a couple of times a week. Let me scroll down. Got a couple of others that I can show you as well. INTA, so you can see earnings come out plus 400%, sales plus 31%, bit of an acceleration in the margins. 2024 estimates plus 200% with the guidance up. Now it's not quite built out that kind of high type flags. It's powered up from about $20 to $40. Needs a little bit more work in here, but pull back down, find support on that 10 EMA, tightens up, something like that, builds the flag. That could look interesting. RS line's very strong. So these are the kind of stocks that you are going to be getting. LGFB, so this one here, see how it's starting to power up here. You've got some really nice volume footprints going on. Earnings plus 999% relative to, this is on a year-over-year basis, it was 2 cents in terms of the earnings per share. Then it came in this year in terms of Q4 2022, 26 cents a share. Take a look at some of these bullish synchronicity candlesticks. Now this is starting to build higher lows on the 10 EMA, and it's starting to tighten up around potentially psychological level of $10. That there's a Livermore point, and then you could also look at this as a larger cup and handle type pattern, and then it's kind of flagging out in the potential handle. So that looks fairly interesting. So these are the kind of stocks you're going to be getting from this scan. Ribbon. So you see how this stock here powered up here from about $2 to over $4. What's the high there? About $4.80ish. So potential high type flag pulling back down in a fairly constructive manner to the 10 EMA. So this one here may kind of bounce, build out a little low pivot, something like this in here. Potential low pivot forming. Maybe it builds more of a flag type pattern. But see how it's trying to come out, and potentially this phase 1 base, and look at the volume coming through as it's trying to power out here. Fairly interesting. So I really like these scan, good estimates on that stock. XM as well, a little bit difficult to see this one. See how it's gone from about $9.50 up to $17. So treat this more so like a high type flag. So I'm looking at good reactions to the most recent earnings report, where earnings were plus 143%. Sales up as well, 23%. Margins plus 4.1% year over year, and then potential high type flag setting up. See how it's starting to tighten around the 10 EMA. That there is one that I'm watching. Let me see what else we got. We got BLBD. This is another one I think it's quite interesting. So powering out here, look at the volume coming through, bullish synchronicity, pulls back down, shake out underneath the 10 EMA. So now just need to see if this can kind of bounce, tighten up, something like that, bit of VCP action, bit of flag type action, something like that. Could look fairly interesting. So that would then be the flag. This obviously on the flag pole there as well. 2024 estimates plus 400% with the guidance up as well. I think I've got one more to show you. So this is Monday.com. And this was the point earlier as well, given the kind of context of the market where we are as well. You can see potential large phase 1 base here. So it's relatively new in terms of its IPO, Monday.com. And then take a look at the size of this phase 1 base. So this is the cause and effect relationship of things. Tony Rowe Price adding to their position. The most recently reported quarter, earnings came out plus 260%, sales plus 57%, margins accelerating, minus 39, minus 12, 1.9, 14.8. And then take a look at some of the volume footprints that you're getting in this base as well. So if this can tighten up and set a pivot around the 1021 EMA, I think Monday.com looks very interesting, certainly from a price cycle perspective, from the relative strength point of view, from the earnings and the sales and the margins accelerating as well. So I'll wrap the video up there, guys. Hopefully you found that useful in terms of a scan that I run. I run this a couple of times a week, and I'll work my way through that list. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in a future video.